If I was God, I'd encourage the head of the superpower to Twitter every time he goes in the bathroom. Not true. But if I was God, I'd make him establish Jerusalem as the um, capital of Israel. I would speak at the March for Life. These were, if I was God, I would have him do that. Okay. Okay, this is Trump's miraculous win. Former presidential candidates, it's page 7, John McCain and Mitt Romney constantly criticized Trump from the time he entered the race, even accusing him of collusion with the Russians and interfering with Justice Department investigations. At least 3 of the Republican candidates Trump's defeated in the primary, Kasich, Ted Cruz, and Bush, along with Jeb's father and brother, Bush's 41 and 43, have spoken out against Trump. Many in his own Republican Party, not just the Democrats, were working to destroy him. He didn't have the ground game that Clinton had. He was far behind on fundraising and had minimal staff to work on solving these problems. A Trump campaign insider told me during a private conversation that major Republicans' National Committee donors met several times and party hierarchy to figure out how they could derail the Trump campaign. And derail. It was the Trump train. Uh, Again, that's another end times thing. The train, get on board. Train. I made a video about it. A cruise missile hitting the Trump train. And this happened where a train was derailed and knocked off a mile from where I was. And no, personally for me, because God had told me in 2008, after they went up to Bama in Ezekiel 20:29, we would then go under the rod hand. It was a big deal. The young people don't know this, but to use your maiden name was a very big deal. And she practiced law using her maiden name, as I did, only because, and it was a big, big deal to get Melito off of putting the hyphen in was my first objection to my daughter's father, who was a treacherous spouse. But in middle class America in the 80s and early 90s, you had to have your husband's last name. And I now do on my Social Security. It was my one genuine marriage, and it's been a nightmare, but because he died. But the only way to protect myself was to take his last name and put it on my Social Security card, not my maiden name. So, anyway, the media's loss of credibility, and that's the best thing. He's doing an excellent job, and I have a president I can pray for. And he's proven me wrong over and over again. And but yeah, I voted for that former military man. I'm like, because I wanted to write in Alan Keyes in the Bush election. I'm like, I want to, women got the right to vote. We had this all our lives. It was very important in our uh, convent school to do right and risk the consequences and vote your conscience. And my conscience was that Trump, but nobody fought it on this. And it's like, well, if we go down in flames, if, if we reap our judgment, uh, it's because you are completely ignoring the rule of law with Trump. Eligibility statutes made him ineligible. But again, it is a miraculous win. And it's a judgment against our country that people bled and died for our Constitution and to live under a land of law, not the thoughts of a select group of people who have established themselves as monarchy, and they aren't. We do that by following the rule of law, and we all have to decide, well, if somebody, even if it's not if it's a lie, even if it's a lie, you still have a felony conviction, and the law allows it can have you have that expunged from your record, but you do have to go through that process. Well, and again, that was Cruz was a lawyer and an attorney general, and it's like, no one's going to do that? I mean, so anyway, when I was explaining the law to the cruisers, why don't you get, I don't know how people get chosen to be delegates and stuff like that, but I know you got lawyers there. Why is my pointing out this law? But anyway, and the Democrats, they're blinded. They've got a lot of lawyers too. They're blinded. There's an eligibility statute that, okay, Hillary's got, she murdered Vince Foster on, and that was her emails, because it's statutory. She was violating a statute, and she could be prosecuted as a felon. When you talk about all that, well, he already pled no contest to felony charges. So, that in mind, but no one uses the law. I'm just going to be honest. I mean, that's like, the evil is that we don't know the law. Now, again, I'm very grateful that we are under this judgment that nobody's following the rule of law, but I taught law. You've got to follow the law. That's what protects you. None of us are going to be protected. This is the last merciful thing. When we were to go under the rod, the vision I had, which, the red thing that went across the sky, could certainly have been the thing that was supposed to break the ground rumble here. And God showed mercy. Showed it to me. So, but I was mostly upset with God, because He showed me the country's under judgment. The first judgment's going to be famine, and the second part of the judgment is we go under the rod. And we almost did not. So, honestly, I was mostly mad at God. But I'm very grateful that He's been merciful to us. But, forgive me, Lord. I'm saved, so that means You're a merciful God. I don't deserve it. If the laws were righteous, if there's a bad law, Roe v. Wade created a bad law. Well, if the laws were righteous, I shouldn't even be walking around. And I got my judgments. Can't resent that other people, that's the other thing. I'm too sleepy to do this right now. But anyway, I'm very grateful that Trump is our president.